Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm not Jeff.
And guest Ant.
Yeah.
Anthony is joining us now.
Ant is dead to me.
Ant is
I'm
dead.
now Anthony.
Right on. Well, Anthony, it's been a while since we had you on the show. Quite a while.
Yeah, like probably a year and a half. Oh, no, because the Game of the Thrones.
Yeah.
So we played Game of Thrones.
Well, so you've been on the stream.
Yeah.
But you haven't been on the show. Yeah, we haven't had you on the podcast in a while. So how you been? What's new with you?
Pretty good. I'm no longer in beer. Beer is also dead to me now.
Which is so weird.
It was 11 years. It was plenty.
Yeah. But I mean, like, because you were like Cicerone, you studied brewing in Europe, like all of that stuff. And then so now, like, I don't
Now I'm getting old and I want money.
Understandable.
I don't want to be like, here's your Christmas bonus. It's a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
12-pack at a minimum. Come on.
Well, that's when you get promoted. You get up to a 12-pack.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's what Jeff's going to school for, to get that 12-pack.
Yeah. But now I work for the man.
Yeah.
So that's more exciting, I guess.
Yeah. You're fully sold out to corporate interests.
It's cool. They pay better, so it works out.
They pay way better.
It's way better.
Corporate interests have your interest.
So I'm an analyst now, and I'm recently engaged. So that's also very exciting for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Congratulations.
Now I just need a house, and then I'm a real grown up.
And then a baby?
No, fuck. But yeah, so a lot of video games and more board games than before. The last year I was working at a bar. So it made playing board games really hard because we were on completely different schedules.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people want to play at midnight or on a Tuesday at noon. But
which is ironic because now I'd love to play on Tuesday.
Once I started switching to this job, you started switching to the other one. So we had two opposite snowboard seasons. Well, last year we rode a little bit together.
A little bit.
For the most part.
Yeah, but this year I don't know if we'll get a ride together at all.
I mean, I can work from condo,
Okay.
Or just be like, all right, guys, I'm just coming to Japan with you.
We get off the plane and Ant's like, hey, guys.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm blinded by images of Ant just like waiting for me in the Tokyo airport.
Gotcha. Did you say that we were sponsored by Gray Fox
I
Game?
did not say
Okay.
that.
If you'd want to just go ahead and say it right now.
Yeah. So this is the Wednesday episode
There you go.
sponsored by Gray Fox Games,
Our sponsors.
our sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Well, congratulations on all the big new exciting
All the
growing up
changes.
changes. Yes. And then hopefully we'll get a ride together soon.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if we're going into snowboarding right away, but
Go for it.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, this is the snowboarding hour. We haven't gotten a ride together yet, but that picture that I took that I sent you, that was at Keystone actually, after you were there.
What? When was it?
You need to get off your ass and start hiking Erickson Bowl.
Oh, okay.
You work for the powder.
That is a fair statement. I was talking to Megan because she's tried to get. She likes to go like hiking during the summer and stuff, and I'm like, I don't really like hiking. And I was talking to her like just yesterday. And I was like, I think I found a reason to force myself to go hiking a lot during the summer. She's like, oh yeah, what's that? And I was like, so that I can hike the bowls easier in the winter. Whoops. I found the one thing I forgot to fix. It still says Jeff and not Anthony.
Well, I'm still appreciate the fact that this show is the quality that I expect out of you guys.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Especially without Jeff being here and then me not being here for a long time. Every time I say something, there's just an awkward silence of like, well, now what do you want to talk about?
Well, and it doesn't help that like Jeff tried to change up the stream pattern last time of like you want to do games earlier and then do banter later.
But then this is you can do banter afterwards. This is introduction.
I know.
Of guests.
That's true.
So you can still do games and then banter.
It's also been a long time since we had any guest on the Wednesday episode.
That's very true.
So it's not just you. It's the lack of Jeff. I mean, there's like a lack of flowing hair.
I mean, my hair does grow fast, but
I don't. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute to get it to Jeff.
I thought about like wearing like a super low cut V-neck so I can just try to be like you. But
Ooh, no. Nobody needs that.
No, you got to find a super low cut V-neck that still says like Nickelback on it or something, and then
nickel.
I would be impressed if somebody
so
found
that sounds like your next Christmas present is going to be that.
If I found if somebody found a V-neck that said nickel back like along the V, especially if it was a deep V, I would be impressed.
All right, that seems like something
I
you
mean,
can easily print.
I'm not. See, that's cheating. You have to find it. I'm sure it exists. You just have to find it.
I'll make it. You find it.
There we go. Perfect.
Oh dear. But yeah. When was the last time you were up snowboarding?
I went up last week. I've been going up most weekends, but my motivation has been minimal.
Yeah.
It's like the best year we've had in a long time, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah. We've kind of been in the same boat because the snow patterns have been really shit this year, where it tends to be snowing like on Thursday and Friday. So by the time we get to it on Monday, it's already like tracked out and garbage. And it's like, shit.
Yeah. I've had some bad luck on the timing too, but it's also been cold.
It's been very cold.
Like last Friday we rode and it was -6, -10, something like that. And I was like, I was going to go up this weekend too, but it was -10 again. I was like, I'll wait.
Yeah, so it's been way too cold. I wanted to go a lot more. I was hoping to be already at like over 10 days because of the Japan trip and wanting to get my snowboard legs, and I think we're at 6 days. So we came close, but not quite.
I haven't been counting, but I'm definitely in probably somewhere in the high teens.
Nice.
Still, I mean, I don't know how many of those days we're doing a lap and then going to the bar. And again, when I said I used to go 70 times, a lot of those days were just doing a lap and going to the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, my daily, I was just on like the Epic app, and like my daily or my average like feet per day is way down.
Yeah.
Because it's been a lot of like, there's not really that great of snow, and it's really cold, and I'm just kind of tired. Do you wanna go back to the condo? Megan's like, yeah. Let's do that. Let's go play Spirit Island for 6 hours.
I mean, the coverage has been great, but the daily, like, what has been dropping has been weirdly spaced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think I'm booking a heli trip to Silverton next month, though. See, look at that.
Yep.
The eyes. He's like, oh, God, I wish I could do that, but I can't because I'm going to Japan.
I know.
Like an
I was
asshole.
about to get greedy and be like, how can I do that and Japan?
The only place in the country you can do single drops. Everywhere else you have to rent a helicopter. This does just pay for the seat.
About how much is it a seat?
180.
It's not actually that bad.
I mean, it's a fucking helicopter trip.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Even, I mean, if there's good visibility, just the fact that you get to go to a helicopter and ride around in the mountains is worth $180.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for at least one drop.
And
And
then
they're big runs too, because they take you way up.
yeah, I mean, that's a problem with Silverton is it's a mountain that you work for. So you do a lift halfway up and then you have to boot pack around. But for $180, you get a helicopter. So who gives a shit? So
Yeah.
just got to hope the timing works out great. And then there's actually powder and not.
Tracked out
Yeah.
garbage.
Well, it's not going to be tracked out either way. But on top of a peak where you're taking a helicopter to, it could be wind blown. So it could be a little crust on top. But I don't know. Should be good.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I think that covers the reintroduction of Anthony and the Snowboard Hour. People are here for things like board games and stuff.
So next do board games and then do banter.
Exactly. So Anthony, it's been a while since you've been on the show, but everybody knows you because you do the Blood Bowl stuff, which we'll save for the Bloody Minute.
Oh,
But aside from Blood Bowl, what else have you been playing lately?
I've actually been playing a good bit lately. So I know that you guys have already talked about Battlestar, but I've had 2 games of Battlestar recently, which is a little bit more than normal.
Yeah, that's like a lot more than normal.
Well, I play it like probably 2 to 4 times a year. I always play it at the anniversary party, and then I usually play it sometime in the summer. So we played it twice recently, and both times.
But especially with that new board or the new mat you got.
Oh yeah, the main reason we played it recently is because the new mat came in.
Yeah.
Paul found a website that prints really good quality mats, and he's like, "I'm buying this. Do you want anything?" I was like, $50. Get me this immediately. We both knew. As soon as he asked me, we both knew which exact mat file because we'd seen it before.
Right.
And as soon as he's like, "Do you want to print anything?" I was like, "Battlestar." He's like, "I already know which one." I was like, "Cool." Yeah, we played twice, and both times we had somebody do like a really bad play, and I was humans both times, all game, and somebody did a bad play, and I was like, "You're gone. I'm coming for you. You're going out the airlock right now. This is it." And then I throw them out the airlock, and they're human. And I was like, "I hate this game."
No, I remember when Julie made that in your game, and you're like, "Fuck you, Julie." And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck Julie, right?"
We were playing, and Paul was clearly a Cylon,
Yeah.
but Julie was playing, and we voted in, and it was only her and I, and maybe someone else put another card in, but I put in a couple, and she put in a couple, and she flips them over, and she was drinking by then, I guess, but she just looks down, and she's like, "Well, I played this one." And I was like, "Stop, you can't say what cards you play, but I'm going to fucking kill you, because that's my card. There's no way you played that card. You fucked up. Not only did you break the rules, but you pointed at the one card that I knew was mine. I'm throwing your ass out the airlock." And she was a human, and then we lost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, on that one, I was really disappointed that I think at your card that it didn't have a jump symbol on it, because then would have brought us to the -3 population, because then I would have totally gone to the FTL and made us jump, and then made us lose a fuel and 3 population, hopefully bringing us to 0 and 0 in both of them.
the last time we played before that, someone did a similar thing where there was a new guy, and he was saying something like I was like, "Maybe we should just throw him out the airlock. Maybe he's a bad guy." And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." I was like, "Why would you say that?" Like, now I'm really wondering. Like, now I'm gonna throw you out the airlock out of spite.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was the airlock. I think I had ability to just go up to someone and shoot him.
Yeah, because I think somebody in the game has that. They
You
have,
had,
like, the
I think,
gun.
was it the one where you threw him in the brig and then just shot him like
It wasn't a player power. It was
Okay.
a card that came up, and it said
Gotcha.
if you did this, you could execute somebody.
Oh, I had that card in my hand. Mine was a quorum card that was if someone was in the brig, you could just
I
kill
think that's
them.
what it was. Yeah. So he was just like, "Yeah, go for it," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Now I have to."
Yeah, you deserve to dive no
And
matter
it was
what.
like, it was super early and he was new. I'm like, I feel kind of bad doing this, but I feel like you just want me to flip your card over because you don't know what the Cylon thing means. So sure, I'll shoot you in the face. Oh, you're a human. All right, cool. And then like an hour later, another guy does like a similar thing, and he's human too. And Julie's sitting there, smug in a little corner, fucking Cylon again. All right, anyway, so I love that game.
Nice.
It was definitely enjoyable when I played it.
It has
Yeah.
been like 4 or 5 years since I played it.
And I would say
It's been a long time.
it was a long time for me too, and it's like I definitely enjoyed it, but it's not a game I would play 2 to 4 times.
It
a
works.
year.
It works better with the right group,
Oh, I'm
and
sure,
also
yeah.
like we tried something new this time where as soon as the first person plays a card, no one can talk, and I feel like that made it faster.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
And also it adds a little bit of stress because like if people are arguing with you and you're the first person to go, you're like, well, can't argue anymore.
Yeah.
Or if you're a Cylon, you do it fast.
Yeah, I like that too, because then that gives you a little bit more time or a little more ability to fuck with other people. So,
That was Battlestar
I like that.
Galactica
I like
with
that
all
idea.
expansions.
did you play with all expansions this time? We didn't when we played, or we
Yeah, we
didn't. We didn't use a ship.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, it was close, but
Okay.
there was a little bit from every expansion.
That's very true. Yeah.
There's 3 boxes, and the
Yes.
3 boxes have like 3 to 4 things in
Gotcha.
them. So,
Why didn't you use that third ship?
didn't want to give you guys too much.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All
Whereas
right.
if you use that, then you had to use another expansion.
Oh, okay.
Or another part of the expansion.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
that makes sense.
we kept it to where it is. I don't think I would ever play without the Cylon base star board, and I will sure as hell. There's no point of me ever playing without Pegasus, because if there's no airlock,
Yeah.
there is no game.
Right. Yeah.
But the other things were cool. We played with the if you're a human, but if somebody looks at this card, then you get a bad thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that added a lot, because like when you're a human, you really want them to see your card because then you can prove that you're good. But
Mhm.
this is if they see it, then you get a penalty. So you're like, you don't want to look at my cards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then you don't know if they're a Cylon or if they're just trying to like.
Yeah.
actually
That's
save
what
you.
Julie's was. It was like if you looked at it, she died or something like that.
Yeah.
God. Let's cut you open and see if you're a Cylon. Oh,
Yeah.
no, you weren't. You're
Yeah.
dead. Okay. What about you, Zach? What have you been playing lately?
Jeff and I played more Marvel Champions. So that first game we played was the intro game. We had the starter deck for Captain Marvel and for Spider-Man versus Rhino.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, let's, get a bit deeper in here. He wanted to try, he wanted to try out Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try out Black Panther.
Yep.
So they both play very differently than Spider-Man and Captain Marvel did.
You don't say.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Almost like they have very different superpowers.
That's not tracking. But like, so Iron Man, so when you're in your alter ego versus your superhero or your hero card, you have less cards. And so like Iron Man, his hand size when he's Tony Stark is 6, but when he's Iron Man, it's only 1.
Yeah.
But as you install more tech, so you get your repulsors on, your boots, your arc reactor, which apparently he just doesn't have unless he installs it. That's about right. That seems important for Tony Stark.
He doesn't really use the arc reactor.
That's very true, yes.
You need a suit to actually power something.
But it's basically he's putting on different parts of the suit and he becomes more powerful. Whereas Black Panther, you had a lot of cards.
Just like, Tony, what do you use the arc reactor for? It makes it vibrate.
But Black Panther, he has a bunch of gear that he can attach, but he has 4 cards that's Wakanda Forever, that let you activate all of these cards because it's like claws and energy daggers and your suit and stuff like that. That the only way you can activate them is by playing this Wakanda Forever card, and but you get to activate them in whatever order you want, and whichever one is the last one in the sequence gets an extra bonus. So you're trying to figure out. It's like, oh, in this instance, I want to do the claws for last, or the suit, or whatever. So it was cool to see more interesting things for us to think about, right?
Yeah.
But we fought Ultron this time, who just his shit was crazy. It was Ultron just had drones everywhere, and basically for that was anytime he would attack you or certain things would happen, you would take the top card from your deck face down, put it in front of you, and now it's a drone with like 1 health and one thwart and all that stuff. So you didn't want them to build up, so you wanted to do a lot of little damage, and so it worked out well that like Iron Man had a bunch of like little attacks that you could do, and so did Black Panther. But if we were playing with like Captain Marvel or Spider-Man, who were more about like big attacks, but big single attacks, we'd have gotten overwhelmed, I think.
Okay.
And especially later on, he starts to be like, well, for every drone you have in front of you, he gets 1 strength, and then he already has like 3 strength at that point, so he could easily do like 8 damage to you in 1 hit, and you're like, oh god, my health is like 11 max.
Oh dear.
So there's a lot of us switching back and forth, and it got really close near the end. There are multiple times where I had to step in front of Jeff and take the damage that he was going to take, otherwise he was going to die. And multiple points, and a lot of my allies that I bring out, I'd be like, I bring it out and I have to go save Jeff's ass. God damn it! Or the same thing for me. But we ended up winning near at the end, and it was a lot of fun. So we are both looking forward to trying out more stuff. I think it was Boyd linked us on our Slack, because the 2 hero packs of Captain America, Ms. Marvel, and then the Green Goblin villain pack, those are all like have been out of stock for a while, but Barnes & Noble had them in stock online, so we just bought all of them. So
awesome.
We want to try those out now.
Nice. May says Hawkeye does a real good job dealing with the drones.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Just a lot of little tiny little arrows taking down drones.
Oh yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
The more you guys talk about it, the more I want to give it a shot.
From what I've heard from May, like 4-player, too much. I can totally understand that too. But I'm curious. I'm probably on, I don't know, Wednesday, maybe we might try and do a 3-player one. So when you're gone and we decide to stream this, it'll let us know if we want to just do 2-player or invite a third. Yeah. So
right on.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nothing worth talking about.
Okay.
So
cool.
I'll just throw it back to you.
Yep. So the last 2 game nights, actually, I've played Stockpile. So the first night I played somebody's copy. I don't know whose it was. I don't think it was Ryan's.
Was it mine?
No.
Okay.
Because it didn't have any. It was just base game.
Oh, then that's got to be Ryan then, yeah.
It was the old, just straight base game, no expansions.
I mean, I wouldn't like Ryan from Slack, Ryan?
Yeah, okay. I feel like it wasn't. But I want to believe it was.
It would make sense because he never has anything that you actually need for a game.
I know. You're the worst, Ryan. You're the worst. But I taught it to 2 new players. So we played a 3-player game with 2 new players, and
That's right, yeah.
I won, unsurprisingly, because you're going to win when you play with all new players in Stockpile, probably. The 3-player, that reaffirmed that I don't really like 3-player, just because there's going to be 2 face-down stocks. So the amount of known versus not known information it feels like there's a lot more up to just chance, which isn't as great. But then on this past Wednesday, I played a 4-player game with I got my new Kickstarter Deluxe Edition with all the expansion, Epic Edition with all the expansions. And I again taught 3 new players, so I still won.
I like with each, I feel like each expansion, they give you better circle markers and the X marker each time. There was just, it's just like the Grizzled, where every time they go like, all right, well, here's better player pieces. Yeah. Oh, well, here's even better player pieces now.
Yes.
So.
But and then so I played with most everything except commodities and the investment portfolios, which is the big new one from this expansion that I really want to try, but I didn't want to push on new players.
Gotcha.
And I didn't really remember how to do commodities, so I was like, I'm not going to teach that wrong. But we did stocks and bonds, and we did a shit ton of the different investors. But it went really good. Tom Photos, and I's friend from the ski condo.
The legendary Tom Photos.
Legendary Trevor Davis's friend Tom.
What? No, you can't do that. It doesn't work like that.
You weren't up at the condo. Me, Jelaine, and Trevor Davis all decided that that's what we're going to start doing to Tom. I said that to him at game night, and he was like, what? No.
Which Trevor? Oh, Tom's friend. Tom's friend.
Trevor Davis. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's agreed confused. That we should at least briefly turn it around and make it Trevor Davis's friend Tom. But anyway, he got off to a great start. He won an auction pretty big. He was the Donald Trump version, so he paid the one less. I was some bargain lady.
Discount Donald is technically what that was.
Discount Donald.
Yeah.
I don't remember what like cheapskate Sarah or something like that. But basically she has on hers a different price point to where it's like you get 4 money, you get 3 money, you pay 0, and it's less except for the top 2 are way more.
Yeah.
Like instead of 25, it's like 35 or something.
That's one of the new investors.
Yeah.
Is it based off of somebody?
I have no idea.
I assume so.
I mean, all of them are.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at mine yet to see who all the new people are in there. So
yeah.
But I'm sure it's based off somebody.
And then somebody else had another one that was like manipulates the bidding. So 3 of the 4 players manipulated bidding. And then Blazes he was the 4 that go out randomly at the start. He gets to take all 4 of them, put 1 face down and the other 3 face up wherever he wants.
Okay.
So we all manipulated that section of the game.
That one was that one interesting at all?
It was interesting. Okay. I don't think it's very powerful.
Okay, yeah.
The biggest thing is like if there's something obviously good, he could hide it.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't know that it was obviously good. But then you're kind of like, well, odds are if there's something good, that's what it is. Like, yeah, it might be junk, but if there's something good.
I feel like I would, anytime I had a chance to put fees in that.
He did put a lot of fees face down.
Yeah.
He did that a lot. But anyway, Tom Photos got off to a great start where he won an auction with like 3 face down cards. And they were all 3 the automotive company, which pays dividends as it goes up.
No,
and then
that's Stanford Steel.
And then that one was the 1 face down that nobody could see, and it went up 4. So he got triple dividends.
Nice.
And then it split. But then 2 turns later, it had crashed hard, and it was sitting like 2 above break. And he was like, I'm going to ride it out. And then it crashed, and he lost everything.
No, exactly.
And he was like, I've made a mistake.
That definitely sounds like a Tom statement.
Yeah. It ended up being fairly close. I did win. But then Blaze and Tom were really close to each other in the middle. And then Blaze's buddy who came along was in a fairly distant 4th. Like there was one point where he was like, the face-up stock was like Epic Electric or something, and it was going to split. Like it was going up 2, and it was sitting on the 1 spot. And on his sell turn, he was like, I'd like to sell 3 of these. And we were like, no, you don't. And he was like, oh, yeah, thank you. Like that's how much he did not follow what was going on.
So what was the point differential for first, second, third, and then
I was like 45,000. No, way more. I don't know. I don't remember.
I was gonna say, what the fuck happened in that game if you won with 45,000?
I mean, it wasn't a ridiculously high scoring game overall.
No, That's fine. Just 40.
No,
like,
sorry, because I had 4 piles of 50,000 and then another pile. So it was like I was like 240.
yeah, that sounds better.
And then I think they were both right around 200.
Uh-huh.
And then the other guy was like 70.
Yeah. Yes.
Like way back.
Is this the same game that Tom says you cheated at because you had too many bonds?
Yes.
All right, just making sure.
But whoa,
Yeah,
that'd be real bad. But so I'm actually very curious how this happened because
That's convenient.
it almost,
I don't know how this happened. I was playing 3 new guys. I was teaching the game. I crushed them.
Yeah.
But I still had to cheat a little bit here.
So we go into the final round and we go to start buying bonds, and I was second player, so Blaze bought 3 bonds. I was like, I'll buy 3. And then I looked down and I was like, wait, I have too many bonds. I was like, all right, I should not have, I didn't buy 3 bonds. It was basically, I had 15, like I bought 3 every time, and I knew that the first ones were, I bought 2, and then I bought 1, and then I bought 3 every time. So somewhere I ended up with 3 extra bonds. And I don't know what, so I was like, all right.
So you did the honorable thing.
So I did the honorable thing. I put back $3,000 for the 3 bonds I shouldn't have had, and then I didn't buy any bonds the last round.
The honorable thing would have just been to sell everything at no price.
I don't know if that's true. So as Paul is blasting asterisks in chat, yes, it was a win with an asterisk.
Well, now I don't even have to call asterisks at the end. I was also about to say asterisks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a good point.
the MHGG icon should be an asterisk.
Yep.
But yeah, so anyway, a lot of fun. I do really like Stockpile. It's been nice getting to play it a couple of times. I really want to try out the investment portfolios.
Yeah, we can play it on Wednesday because I wanted to play it this past Wednesday, but I didn't get a chance to. So
I'm down. So right on. That's what I've been playing. That's what we've been playing. Bloody Minute's separate.
No, but you only gave me 1 game, and then you're like, Zach, what are you doing? I had a list of things going here.
Oh, sorry.
We played War of the Ring. I would like to talk about that.
Okay, well,
can I talk about
yes. So talk about War of the Ring,
and then we'll come back to what we streamed on Friday.
This is why I'm on Team Zaf.
That's fair.
So we played a 4-player game of War of the Ring, which is very different.
Oh shit.
And on the super expensive collector set, which is pretty good. It's pretty nice.
Were you playing with the expansions?
Yes.
How many?
All of them. There's only 2.
2? Okay. All right.
So that kind of added to our issues because no one else had played with the newest expansion. And it adds a whole bunch of new factions, we played with that one, which is still pretty new, but for some reason Paul hadn't played with the first expansion, which is even easier to play, but there's minute little rules to add into it.
That seems right, yeah.
And that added some time. But I was pretty against 4-player War of the Ring in the same way that I'm against 4-player Rebellion.
Okay.
Like, why it's a 2-player game, why split it up?
But
in Rebellion, like a 2-on-1 with the one being the rebels works out okay.
Yeah.
Same thing with the War of the Rings. I knew going into it, I was like, well, I don't think 4-player is gonna be good. I want to play Shadow if I play. And then Paul's like, well, we'll just play without you. I was like, well, we'll go. And then I randomly got free people, or no, actually I got shafted with free people. But it just doesn't make any sense because there's
just not enough stuff to do.
Your defensive ability is basically hoping like that they don't crush you. I mean, it's just like a Rebellion. Like you're not actually putting an offensive out with miniatures.
Yeah.
You're building up a little bit to compensate.
Yeah.
And then you move the ring, but moving the ring is a die roll. Like you just say I move the ring and then they roll a die.
Right.
So it's even less you don't have a ton of cards you can play. So
what are the 4 factions then? Cuz
it's not even 4 cuz there's 3 Shadow factions and there's 5 Free People factions and then they split it 3 and 2 and then 2 and 1.
Okay.
I said that backwards. But,
okay.
So and then the way that they suggest splitting it, I got all the good ones and then the other person got like the dwarves, the humans, and Rohan, and he was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just not going to do anything in this game, I guess. It was still a really enjoyable game, but I don't see the benefit of playing 4-player over 2-player.
Gotcha. But you said you could see a 3-player. Or is that
3 versus 2 makes sense because there's so many shadow people units on the board that you can split it up.
Okay.
Um,
Is it similarly split like in Rebellion, or is it just like it's just troops and troops for the two shadow factions, I guess?
It's troops and troops, but then you have smaller hand size and you have cards that you can't share with each other, and it limits what you can do because you might have cards you can't play efficiently.
But I guess what I mean is like, are like Troop A significantly different than Troop B, or is
no?
it?
It's just numbers.
All right, because like with Rebellion, it's like the space and then like ground or something, right?
Totally. No, it's generic.
Oh, okay.
You have a regular on one faction is just as strong as a regular on every faction.
Okay, all right.
So you have regulars, elites, and then rerolls. Basically,
Gotcha. Okay.
It's still really good. I will play it a lot more. I don't know. I don't see the benefit of 4-player, but
Paul is freaking out in chat.
No, I said no. Just no.
Oh, I just saw that pop. Okay.
Go ahead. That's fine.
He said it's Gondor and elves, Rohan and North humans and dwarves a while back. Then he said Sauron, Easterlings, and Southerlings or whatever.
that's one
Southerlings.
faction.
Sauron.
Eastern and Southerlings.
Sauron, and he has it like as Easterlings and Southerns,
Yeah.
so it should be. He has it as Southerlings.
Whatever.
And the Eastlings get Isengard 2. Read the chat. Damn it. Quote, freaking out. What's the point in hosting on Twitch if you don't interact with chat? LOL. Yeah. And he just keeps going. Yeah. I would have been surprised if 4-player was noticeably like...
It felt different. It
That's good.
added things to the game, and that I could see why people could enjoy it, but I still think that a 3-player game has more value than a 4-player game.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I've only ever played it 2-player, and I've only ever played it with you.
And
so I don't have
and
a
when we
breadth of
played
experience.
it, we didn't play it with the newest expansion, which adds just a really frustrating little rock into the cog. But it with both expansions, it definitely brings military victory for free people into an actual option.
Mhm.
So you have more flexibility as free people. So there's potential for 4, but like I said, it just makes more sense to me for 2-player definitely, and then 3-player possibly.
Okay. Right on.
Makes sense. So you wouldn't do it 4-player again?
I mean, I would for sure, but I just don't like.
You're not like eager to.
Yeah, I mean, like, why would we play 4-player when we could play 2-player games?
That's fair.
All right. Well, someone else is gonna have to buy that anniversary edition then.
I have the regular one. It's fine. We have multiple people with the regular one, and one day I'll paint them.
I'll believe it when I see it.
How far along in the queue are they?
The queue.
Because I paint one, I buy 20. I'm very consistent at least.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many. I tried to inventory last summer and it didn't go well.
Is Rising Sun still like the next one you're going to paint?
I do have 1 dragon and 2 monsters on the table, but with 1 Blood Bowl team in front of them and they're behind. So when I get tired of the Blood Bowl team, I switch.
Okay.
And I do a little bit.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
So I'm going through Onis, and I had 2 Onis and a dragon right now, but hopefully I always say that I'm going to paint more, so we'll see what happens.
Right on. And then I forgot, I got mixed up. Jeff's not here. It threw everything out of whack.
Uh-huh.
We normally start what we've been playing with what we've been streaming.
Yes.
But Jeff wasn't here. So it threw off my rhythm. And because Jeff wasn't here, we also streamed 2-player games.
Yes, we did.
So Zach and I did a Uwe Rosenberg trifecta with
the 3 2-player games you have of his.
The 3 2-player games that I have of his. So we started off with Caverna Cave vs. Cave, which I won.
Yep.
What'd you think of that one?
It was the one I liked the least out of the 3. I'd rather just play Caverna.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to play Caverna that much, but if I had to play one of them, I'd rather just play that one.
Yeah. It, to me, I think feels, of the 3, it feels the most like a watered down version of what it's based off of.
Yes.
Like it's just Caverna watered down.
Yeah.
It's not.
It just didn't have anything really interesting to me.
I would agree.
Yeah.
The closest it had was like the walls and like having certain rooms have to have certain configurations.
Yeah, that was sort of interesting, but it had enough just optional ones that it didn't matter too much except for just like the couple. And also, I could tell fairly early on when I should have taken a couple things that I didn't. I'm like, okay, well, Adrian's just gonna win now. So
I think
luckily it's quick. So it's like 30, 45 minutes.
I think it would be more interesting if the board layout was a little bit different, to where it wasn't just like a narrow column with a cul-de-sac, because that makes it really easy. A cul-de-sac.
A cul-de-sac.
You definitely said it as cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac.
Sometimes my super, Americanized way of saying things that have real pronunciations comes out, and I definitely did say cul-de-sac. Because that's how that's how I grew up saying it in fucking Kansas.
Another mark against Kansas.
There are so many. It's a shit state. Anyway, if it was a different layout, then you'd maybe have to do more with the walls. That would make that a little bit better. But as it is, it just feels like a very watered down Caverna. Oh no. Next, we played Patchwork.
Yes, we did.
And I forgot that Patchwork. That Zach's a Patchwork fucking shark. Zach's been like really good at Patchwork for a long. Like Zach played the app to death.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't even close.
That was my first thought when I came in here and I saw that on the table. I was like, oh, blood was spilt.
The final, I believe, Adrian, I had 35 was my final total, and his was -10. It wasn't even close.
I was like -17.
-17.
Yeah. It was
to my 30. That's what, okay. 30 to -17 because it was a 47-point difference.
I had 34 negative just in empty spaces alone, and I didn't have a lot of positive.
Oh, and the last fourth of the game was just me being like, well, my board's mostly filled up, so I'm just going to take buttons.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and play a game of Splendor on the side.
So we went into Le Havre Inland Port 1-1 with Inland Port being the definitive tiebreaker. And this was the one I think I know I like the most. Like, I like Patchwork. It's a solid second, but I like Inland Port a lot more. I like the tracking the resources.
That was definitely it. I was expecting it to be similar to K versus K in the sense of just like, oh, it's watered down, but no, it definitely had that warehouse added a lot of interesting things about it. I did enjoy it. I remember Le Havre being the one that I liked the most out of like
the bigger ones
until Feast Road and got the expansion. But I did enjoy that one. Those wheel boards, the spinner boards, notwithstanding, because that I didn't like the quality of those at all.
Well, the biggest problem is there's a big button in the center of the so it's like this wobbly disc on that center button as you're trying to do. It
makes it easier to spin the board around so you can see it.
Don't know if I buy that. Because you don't need to spin it around, because each person has their own spinner. So,
but it's only one board, right?
No.
Oh, you each have a board.
We each have a spinner board. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. That one was a lot closer. And it ended up I barely won on that one.
Yes. Narrowly won.
Yes. It was like 207 to 197. And that one, it came out. I had seen that you were stocking up on fish. And I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this anchor building that requires fish. So Adrian can't have it. And then you got annoyed at me for that. And then I was like, well, there's another one that's for grain, and I have like a lot of good food production. I'm going to just get that too. And then the next round, which I was the first player, the buildings came out, and I was like, oh, there's one here that says
10 points per anchor.
I'm just going to go ahead and buy that one. And then 2 more anchors came out, and Adrian was just like,
well, I got to buy one of them.
Yeah, so I don't get 40 points. And so I bought the other one. And then the anchor that he bought only gave him 1 point. So
it was not great.
No.
So, yeah. So
because I was worried about halfway through that you were going to run away with it again, but then I was able to catch up at the end.
Yeah,
so.
that little series of moves, swiping the fish, and then the way that played out was really good. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that stream. It was nice getting to play like 3 different fairly quick games, like back to back to back like that for a stream. So it was a good stream.
Yeah, it's definitely something we'll look into for future ones. Like the Hanami Koji and Shadows of Kyoto, or
we were talking about maybe doing like a Santorini where we switch the gods up. So we do like 3 games of Santorini with like very different, like at the beginning, pick like 3 very different pairs of gods.
Yeah.
So like rapid fire.
Beginner, medium, expert sort of one, something like that. Yeah.
Should do draft, Santorini draft.
Yes. For that, well, you choose 4, and then the other person narrows it down to 2. Oh, no, I understood what you're saying. Gotcha.
If you're playing best of 3, then you have a big pool, and then you can kind of draft out of those.
That could be an interesting way to do it too.
Because then you don't know if you need to save other people for later.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll play around with the idea. See what we get.
We gotta wait for Jeff to go out of town again. So
yeah. Damn you, Jeff.
Jeff, bring back your Warhammer minis.
Yeah, Yinch, Czar, Vaughn. But then we'd have to like borrow Paul's games and play them without him. So yeah, let's do that. Anyway, so that's what we've been playing. Let's move on here. Let's jump into a bloody minute. Ant's been waiting so patiently. He's been salvitating over there.
Salvitating. Let's write that one down.
Salvitating.
What the fuck? Salivating. That's the word.
Salvitating. Who are you? Me? Adrian? Come on.
I know, right? You know, bow guys, bowers.
The arrows,
Arrow guys, bowers.
Delicates.
Are you done now? Could we do the bloody minute now?
Yes, let's do a bloody minute.
I am going to the championship.
Nice.
And I'm assuming I can go ahead and spoil the fact that I'm going to play Jeff because I'm taking that away from him. He's going to talk about Blood Bowl and he's going to fuck up the rules anyway. I mean, every time I listen to this stupid podcast, I skip right to the bloody minute, and then the rest of it is like chance if I listen to it or not. So
we get the download. That's all that I care about.
So my Manhelton, I don't even know what he said last time, but it was wrong. Manhelton cultists are playing his smashing, whatever.
So what's your team?
So I'm Khorne, which are awful. I never want to play them again.
Why are they awful?
Because I'm a Norse player, and they have a good bit of frenzy and a lot of block, and their glass cannons. Khorne are just like that, but with way more frenzy and a whole lot of fuck us. They're just unreliable. Everything. They're super bad. Like people defend them by saying, "Oh, they're really good at like super high team value." But for what my team does right now, I can do it just as good with the Norse team for 400,000 or 500,000 less.
Okay.
It's the team I normally play with more bad and less anything useful.
And more expensive.
Yeah. They're frustrating. But this is my second season with them.
Why did you choose them, I guess? Or
because I won with a bullshit team last season. Or not last season, 2 seasons ago. The last time I won, it was a season 1 bullshit team where I shouldn't have won, and bullshit Paul outdiced himself. And I mean, there's no we both understood what happened. I didn't win, he lost.
Gotcha.
But I was like, okay, well, my point of playing a like lower tier team was that I wanted to like have some fun and press my luck.
Right, yeah.
So I was like, oh, kind of ruin that by winning the championship. Fuck you, Paul. And so I tried it again with Khorne because I love Norse and Khorne are similar-ish. But they're so frustrating, and I have the best piece, like one of the best big guys in the game, and he didn't do shit for like 13 games. He scored more touchdowns than he hurt people, and he's a big guy. Like it didn't.
That doesn't seem right.
It didn't make any sense. It was really bad, but he kept rolling doubles. So last season was pretty bad for me. I still made it into playoffs, but I didn't win. And then this season, I had a lot of I played like very conservative because I had almost a good team. I played pretty tight. I think my only loss this season was to Jeff, and that was the one game where I think he talked about it last time, where no matter what I did, my one guy doesn't do anything on a 1, and I rolled it 9 times in a row.
Yeah, he said you're getting progressively bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
cups to roll it.
I started going in the back and getting like reserve dice, and I have these big dice. They're like that big. I don't know, like they're
hefty.
They're double the size of a normal dice in every dimension.
Yeah.
So they're
four
large.
Dice, yeah.
And I got a 1-gallon pitcher, and I was throwing the block dice in there, and the D6, and I was shaking the pitcher and flipping it over, and I still rolled a 1. Like, I was getting so frustrated. And no matter what, I couldn't do anything against him. But after that, I had a good season. My last game was super boring, which is great for me. I came out with no injuries, and it was just very kind of like surgical play where I only did the things that I needed to do, and it worked out great. And then my only 2 goals for this playoff season was 1 for the Kemri to knock out Paul again, which was great, and 2 for Phil not to win. Because if anything, as a league, like, it doesn't matter. Me winning the championship means nothing as long as Phil doesn't win the championship. As long as someone takes Phil out, I don't care what happens.
Gotcha.
So Jeff did us all a favor, and now it'll be Jeff and I. So now the question for me is...
We know your track record with him.
That's the problem. It doesn't make any sense. Jeff, I'm sorry. I'm a better Blood Bowl guy than you.
Oh, I know. I'm sure he would say that too.
It doesn't make any sense on the dice when we play. So now the question is if Jeff the Kryptonite to me, does that outweigh the fact that I'm good at winning bullshit teams in a championship? Because there's been a lot of things that I've won with a bullshit team just because it's funny. And does that outweigh the fact that Jeff is my kryptonite?
I think Jeff Kryptonite wins.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I know he's not coming in with a full team, so
it doesn't matter to me.
Well, I understand. Yeah, I guess.
Sure. Second place is just as good because Phil's not first. This is a win-win for me.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because
you've already won.
Phil had won every other season so far, right?
We had one guy last season was someone that wasn't Phil or I.
Oh, okay.
And that was the first time, right?
That I can think of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I've won.
Phil's won a lot of them.
He's won 3. I think I've won 4.
Oh.
And then the other guy won 1.
I didn't realize you'd won so many of your championships. I mean, I know you've won a lot of championships. I didn't know that you'd won so many local.
How many of those wins were against Paul?
Just the one.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like I said, that was a super bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
I think Jeff and I is going to be decided on like the first roll. If I roll snake eyes and he rolls 6s, I'm going to literally put a bottle of whiskey on the table and then just play.
There you go. Yeah.
Like there's no way. Like the last time we played, it was just like that. So it's Jeff's team versus I. He took a little bit of injury his last game, and I'm up 400K on top of him.
Gotcha.
I'm actually up 420. And if he had 430, then he could have afforded the really big guy. But we'll see. We'll see what he does.
Gotcha.
Right
is that a slave giant available?
The slave giant is 400K, and it is made out of 100% complete bullshit.
But is it available?
It is. I don't think actually our rules doesn't make it available.
Okay.
And it will never be. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to shit on people that ever want to take that. It's a very rare situation that you take it, and why would you just shoot yourself in the foot?
Yeah.
But what GW can just go fuck himself. Just
yeah,
that tracks.
There's a lot of weird things that GW has done to this game, and I feel like some of it's intentional, but there's still people out there that just like really weird games.
That's true.
I feel like they're just starting to blend Galaxy Trucker into Blood Bowl because they just want to see what kind of weird shit will happen.
Now I'm more interested.
Pretty soon you'll just randomly draft players face down out of a pile. Like, wow, this is the team I have.
Well, there is a version of that for Blood Bowl.
Oh my god!
Okay.
But it's pretty good. It just takes forever to draft because there's so many units. But you draft your team out of they have a pile of every person that you can get from every team, and you draft your team from different races. It takes twice as long to draft than it does to play the tournament.
Oh jeez. Holy shit.
But
I think that might be a pass for me.
It's interesting. I never play it, and I never want to do it. So
gotcha. Right on. Well, that wraps up Bloody Minute. No Kingdom Death Hour.
Nope.
It's been a little while.
We're supposed to do it today, but
Jeff's not here.
Jeff's not here, so.
Okay. Well,
can you at least spoil on how many dicks were destroyed? More or less than 2.
I don't know. I mean, it's. I wouldn't be surprised if just everybody's dicks get destroyed at some point.
It's basically the story of Kingdom Death.
Yeah,
just
especially as we get farther along. It's just, yeah. But I don't know when we're playing. I think we're playing next week, or 2 weeks. I don't remember, but we'll see how it goes.
Right
Scheduling.
Yeah. Scheduling stuff is fun. 2 weeks.
That's what Paul says.
That was the episode last week, Paul.
I know. All right. Well, that wraps up everything we've been playing and all of that stuff. So we can move on to some news and Kickstarter.
So no banter?
Oh, yeah, banter.
Yeah, we're gonna banter again.
Yeah,
Yes.
banter.
Do we have more banter?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I got what do I care about Kickstarters? Let's
I mean,
banter
that's a
this
fair
shit
point.
up.
That's a fair point.
Let's take a nice
All right,
banter
well,
break.
Yeah. Well, you guys can start the banter break while I go take a different kind of break.
Let's just keep talking about Blood Bowl.
You can keep talking if you want. Yeah, go for it. When is your next tournament?
The next tournament is on February 29th.
Nice.
I'm super excited.
Oh, that's the leap-based one,
Yeah.
right? Nice.
Doesn't
Okay.
make any sense. I'm just going to get a lot of people take leap, and we'll see what happens. I feel like that's a really poor choice, but I think that's what makes it great. See, this is the kind of things that GW should think of.
Yeah.
Not just like, hey, let's put a piece out that breaks all rule sets of normal pieces in Blood Bowl.
But it's expensive, and then people will buy it and make
Oh,
the
they
money.
might never even sell one.
Oh, really?
They're putting out teams, and they're incomplete teams that are unable to buy all of the figures to play it. So you can't go to a GW Blood Bowl tournament with legal pieces.
Gotcha. How many tournaments are there for GW versus
Oh yeah, it's nothing. They don't support anything
Gotcha.
because they make money off Warhammer. So
Right.
why would they do game? Why would
Gotcha.
they do Blood Bowl?
Yeah.
What?
So what is your next tournament? It's just leap base. What was it again?
So the first tournament of the year is usually the one that I try to make kind of newbie friendly.
Uh-huh.
So it's the most straightforward. But then I notice also leap year is on a Saturday, like leap day. I guess.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't not do that.
Yeah.
So every team will get hard asterisks on this statement because I need to make sure that it can't be broken. But every team will get 3 leap skills on linemen
Okay.
on top of their normal build. And then if you already have leap, so AKA Slan,
Right.
which are the frog people, which also GW can't support, then you get 3 normal skills or 3 doubles. I'll look into that and
Gotcha.
see which is
Okay.
going to work.
Are you going to do any sort? I know you said you're not going to force people to leap, but are you going to give them any sort of like incentive to leap?
I don't think I need to.
Okay.
I think when you give 3 leap to everyone, somebody's going to do something stupid every game, and that's what makes Blood Bowl great.
Gotcha.
A lot of people were saying that they're going to do like edge teams to make it, to take advantage of it. But
Yeah.
that means that edge teams, which normally do everything on a 2, are going to need 3s. Or you can just be a jerk and take a bash team with the strength, a normal like edge 3 guy, and then just leap him into a cage and bash away. There's potential for a lot of different things to happen.
Okay.
There.
Cool.
You missed all the Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
What happened? I can repeat it though.
No, we're good.
So
We're good. No. No.
I thought we were gonna banter, and then Zach didn't know what to banter about, so he just kept asking me Blood Bowl things.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Jeff's in chat now too.
I see that.
So.
Yeah.
Jeff, bring your Warhammer stuff. I'm gonna ship all my stuff over here. We'll play at least 3 times, and then I'll get rid of all mine.
There you go.
For how much, like, we went home to my parents' house, and for how much, like, random shit they have in there, every time I go home, she's like, "You're gonna take your fucking Warhammer stuff with you? I can pack it up for you. We can pack it up right now." I'm like, "It's like 2 boxes." And she has so much random stuff in there. Oh, man. But Warhammer, it's gonna happen.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. You just looked like you wanted to say something.
I was just gonna say I'm good on not playing Warhammer.
No, you totally play Warhammer once.
I would play Warhammer.
You would definitely
once.
play Warhammer once. Why would you not? It's a minis game,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna snipe this guy," or like, "Well, you can't do that." And you're like, "Well, it's." I feel like you would like
You
it.
really sold me on it there. You sold it.
But you get to take like fists full of dice and throw them down, and then you get to see how many of your bullets miss.
Yeah. Just really, really appealing to me right there.
And then
No.
don't you have to roll dice to see if those bullets that hit actually do anything?
Yeah, you have to see if then they hurt.
Then you get to see if
Well, that's what, like,
Jesus.
I mean, I feel like Jeff has the same thing where it doesn't matter, like, what you're doing or how, like, the odds are. If you can roll as many dice as possible, it's more interesting. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're just taking, like, full on, like, 30 to 60 dice at once and throwing them down.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, now let's spend 5 minutes lining it all up to make sure. No, I would definitely try it at some point.
Because we played
Hero Quest.
Hero
No,
Quest.
Hero Escape.
Hero Escape,
There,
yeah.
yes.
Which I have played Hero Quest, which is also
Yes.
good. But we played Hero Escape, and I liked Hero Escape. It was fun. Not nearly as super dice chucky as Warhammer, as I understand it, but I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone have to punch someone over the definition of an inch besides Warhammer. You're 1 inch away. No. I'm not 1 inch. It's 7/8. You're like, fuck. It's great. It's worth it. And then I'll sell it all. So then it's good.
And fund your next round of mini acquisitions.
No, I don't give a shit. I could throw it away and be fine. But but I want to play. Like Jeff and I have been talking for years about playing Warhammer.
Oh, yeah.
Like we have to at least play, I would say 3 times. And then I can get rid of it and be fine.
There you go. Did you have any banter stuff you wanted to mention? Anything just
not
football stuff or anything? Or
Yeah,
Broncos aren't playing, so you don't care.
Broncos aren't playing, so I don't really care. The fucking Texans today got my hopes up. The Texans today pulled the Broncos. They got my hopes up. They were up 24-0 against the Chiefs. The Chiefs looked atrocious. I thought they were going to pull the upset. And then the Chiefs scored 41 unanswered points in the start of the second half and ended up winning like ridiculously. Shut up. The Broncos scored 24 points, like over 24 or more points, like 6 times this year. Like, it's not great, but we can score 24 points. Paul's talking shit in chat. Oh, not in one quarter. No. But in a half? No. Also, no. We
Over
blew
a couple games? Yeah, definitely.
We blew a 20-0 lead at halftime. And then the Texans won up us and blew a 24-0.
That means you got 20 points and a half, though. So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad if you get 20 points in the other half to go with it.
Or don't let the other team get more than 20 points.
Oh, Jesus. They were up 24-0 at the start of the second quarter. I missed the first half of the game. So,
and then they went into the half down 28. So they scored 24 in the first quarter, and then the other one scored 28 in the next quarter. That's crazy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was not good. The Texans did not do well. The Titans pulled off a glorious upset against the Ravens. The Titans are like not that good of a team who's doing really, really good right now, which is, I mean, half of what playoff football is about.
Right.
Getting hot at the right time. Patriots are already out. Saints are out. Ravens are out. Lots of teams are losing. Apparently, the Packers won. I missed it because we were getting ready for the show. They played this evening. Packers won. So it's going to be Packers versus the 49ers and the Chiefs versus the Titans for the AFC and NFC championship. And then the winner of those 2 games will play each other for the Super Bowl. Superb owl.
When's the Super Bowl?
Sometime
3
in
weeks?
February? Yeah.
Yeah, because next week's the championship, then the following week's the Pro Bowl, and then the next week is the Super Bowl.
So you'll be in Japan for
I will
that.
be in Japan. So
Pro Bowl, the All-Star, like grab a couple people from every team.
yeah, build a all the best players from the AFC versus all the best players from the NFC. But it's at the end of the season and nobody wants to get hurt, so nobody plays real hard, and it's just kind of like this, like flag football would be more entertaining.
Mm. What you need to do is you just grab everyone from like second string and be like, if your team wins, you're guaranteed to start at least a couple games on the next one.
Dude, you get like $1 million bonus
Yeah.
or something, get some second or third stringers going out there. They used to do a skills challenge. Like Saturday used to be skills challenge and then Sunday was like the Pro Bowl. And the skills challenge would be things like, the kickers would be like trying
far
to
can you
outkick
kick?
each
Yeah.
other. Or I think it'd be cool to like, put out like a, like 50-gallon drums in like a beer pong and have like punters try and punt into the barrels like beer pong or something.
Yeah, but then you have to sit there and watch them miss the last cup for like 30 fucking minutes.
I'm sure they could find ways to make it interesting.
Yeah.
See like foot races, like find out like who's the fastest
And
guy
then,
in the
anytime
NFL.
they make one, they'd have to go walk over there and then drink the 50
the whole
gallons.
50
of beer.
gallons. I know it'd be, but then you get to see trashed punters punting in an NFL stadium. But like I wish they had more skills challenges, stuff like that. Like have quarterbacks like throwing like through like tire hoops or something, like targets or something, seeing who's the most accurate passer, or who's got the biggest arm, shit like that.
The biggest arm.
Like who can throw the furthest
Sure.
accurately? Who can throw the furthest accurately? Otherwise, Brett Favre will just be like, "I'm still 60 years old."
The only thing I know about Brett Favre is that Brick Favre is a Blood Bowl player, and it's based off of him. So He's done shit for me in every tournament that I've used him in. So fuck that guy. Even when I try to say his actual name, I can't not think Brick Favre.
But yeah, so I wish they'd do more skills challenge stuff. You know, I have guys out there competing in more measurable ways than a half-assed football game that nobody cares about.
Right.
So, yeah, going snowboarding again Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, definitely Tuesday. Wednesday, if Megan decides to reschedule her dentist appointment. She had a dentist appointment like 3 days ago, or like a week ago, and then she got really sick, so she rescheduled it, and then she rescheduled it for Wednesday, and I was like, we were gonna go to the we have a dog sitter. We were gonna go to the condo for 2 days. What the shit? She's like, well, I guess I could call him and tell him I'm still sick. It's like, yeah, do that. So might try and go 2 days snowboarding, getting a little bit of snow up there, dustings.
It was 4 last night.
Oh, did it? And it was 4 last night?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So.
Or you just be like, see you when you get there, Megan.
Yeah. I'm out. No, we got D&D tomorrow. We did D&D last week, D&D tomorrow. It'll be the first time since we started this campaign that we do like 2 in 1 month. So that's exciting. And then we won't play again until I get back from Japan. So it'll be another month before we play. So that'll be great. Megan made a new character. There was a little bit of drama in our D&D session last week.
Was it actual drama or okay?
It got close, I think. So basically, the players knocked unconscious 2 of the bad guys in this like little hideout dungeon. They're like ruffians in town that had been roughing people up.
Okay.
So they knocked them unconscious. And in another room, there was a creature, the Nothic, for anybody who's familiar with D&D creatures. And basically, it's like kind of a telepathic, little monster creature. And it had made a deal with them earlier where if they fed it the bodies of the people they killed, it would tell them secrets about everybody living because it can like read minds and stuff. So it was like, yeah, well, I'll tell you about who's here and what their secrets are. So they fed a couple bodies that they had killed to it.
Okay.
So so they had these 2 guards that they knocked unconscious to question. And then while the guards were unconscious, they're like, we could just go feed these to the Nothic and I'm sure he'd tell us things. And Megan is playing like a fairly goody two-shoes little sweet gnome. And she was like, what? No, we can't feed live people to this monster.
Well, then that's when someone pulls out a dagger and just slow.
So the girl's like, all right, so I can slit their throats first if that makes it better. And she's like, no, you can't just murder. like we captured them. Like they're prisoners. We can't just kill them now. Like what the shit?
But now they're not going to feel it. It's okay.
Yeah. Fine.
So there was a little bit of a tension there, and finally so it was like the other 2 women in the group, they were the ones who wanted to go and I was sitting there as the DM. I was like, I did not expect this. Like,
just like how quickly they're like, yeah, but we could just kill everyone and then we just get all the information.
We could just throw these live prisoners in with the monster.
Yeah.
It'd be great. It's like. So they ended up not doing it. Well, then they go to like the next battle, and the one girl like kind of passively aggressively says, well, do we even want to fight him? Apparently we're not killing people now. It's like, oh no. So we were driving home and Megan was talking about it. She's like, I don't know what to do. She's like, because I want to play my character. Like she's a good like gnome, but I feel like I'm taking everybody's fun away because they clearly want to be darker. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, do you want to make another character? You had mentioned you had an idea for another character. And she's like, yeah, let's do that. So we spent some time last night and she made a new, more morally ambiguous character.
She killed herself because she didn't want to be pacifist?
She's not going to kill herself. Her gnome's going to go do other things.
The gnome's basically like, okay, well, these guys want to just kill people, so I'm out.
Yeah, and that's basically the way we're going to play it, is that the gnome's like, I'm sorry, I thought you guys were like good people and I can't be with you.
And then what you do is right when the gnome's about to walk out, Megan's character comes in and just kills the gnome, and then it's like, hi guys.
Heard you guys like killing things.
Yeah. It also works really well too though, because the group that we had was a rogue, a wizard, and 2 druids. So it was a super squishy group. Like it was better now that the druids got their wild shape, so Megan could be like a bear and like have more health to kind of tank. But they were still not that tough. So now she's going to be a big old dragonborn fighter who's got like a massive AC and a big old pole arm that like can attack at a big range.
What was her gnome out of those?
It was the druid. It was one of the 2 druids. So now we'll only have 1 druid.
Paul brings up a good point. What you need to do is anytime they start doing bad stuff, the gnome appears and like tells on them. And so they have to kill the gnome, otherwise, like the guards keep fucking with.
No.
No.
Megan really likes her now, and it's a really cool character. I think Megan, she put a lot of effort. I've been really impressed. Megan's put like a ton of effort into her, like the backstories for somebody who like just got into D&D in like the last 3 months. She's been putting a lot of backstory stuff and thought into her characters. So I do like the idea of still having the gnome pop up occasionally just to be a foil to the party of soon-to-be murder hobos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because her new person's like a jaded dragonborn ex-mercenary who's like doesn't care about good or evil anymore. So he's going to go along with whatever the fuck the two apparently murderous evil characters want to do.
Yeah.
It's going to get real dark.
Or even better, what you have is like, say you had, like they had another character that was like small that like kept wanting them to kill everyone. It like appears on the shoulder and then the gnome is on the other shoulder. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah. So I'll Monday session's going to kind of wrap up the last little bit of the gnome's storyline and give her a graceful exit from the campaign that makes sense for her to leave, and then introduce the new dragonborn.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
No. Megan was hard against that because I had suggested things along those lines, or like even like, do you want to have like, because it was one of those like, how much do we want to preserve like, people's feelings? Like, do you want the gnome to be like, no, you guys are evil bitches and I don't want to be with you? Or do you want it to be like the gnome's like, maybe the life's not for me. I'm going to go back to my gnome village, be a gnome princess again. And Megan was like, no, no, she's not going to wimp out. Like, she's still going to go do adventuring shit just with good people. It's like, oh, okay. So, but yeah, that's my banter stuff, D&D and snowboarding. Otherwise, I've been working. Nothing exciting. What about you guys?
Pretty much the same thing for me.
Working and snowboarding?
Yep, that's exactly it.
D&D?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've actually
all that D&D stuff that I've been, DMing. It's just been crazy.
I have been DMing D&D though.
Yeah, how's your campaign going?
So we play with Julie, who's takes a board game approach to everything. So she wants to know efficient turns. We have Tom Photos, who takes a ridiculous approach to everything. He's like, I'm a halfling barbarian, and the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do a backflip over this well and swing with my axe as this happens. And he rolls a 1 every time.
Sounds like Tom
Does
Photos.
he just fall into the well then?
He's a gnome, or he's a halfling, so he gets to reroll 1s.
Oh, nice.
He rolls them into 2s. He's been on the ground a lot, which, it's for how many things he said, he's just been on the ground a lot.
Gotcha.
And then we play with
Jelane's in your group.
Jelane, so a English teacher, and she's not big into board games, but she's always big into trying things. So she's trying, and she's enjoying it. But her, like you're talking about the backstory, she has that normal D&D printout from Wizards or whatever it is. And in the little box, she has a full-size sheet of paper folded up and stapled to it.
Oh, my God.
So her backstory is quite detailed. And then we also have, do you know English, Johnny?
I don't think so. Although the name sounds vaguely familiar.
The best way to describe him is being English Johnny. And
okay.
He's kind of a Tom Photos approach to everything, but he's very stabby.
Oh, okay.
He's just like, I'm just gonna rapier him. Like, okay, cool. And then his wife is a pacifist, so she hates any violence. It's been a weird trip so far.
Are you guys playing 5e as well?
Yeah,
nice.
But with 6 people,
Jesus,
and none of them ever played D&D. I guess Tom has, but
yeah, that was my group. Like, I've got 4 players, and they're all new to D&D, and so it's like a lot of hand holding.
Yeah. It's been interesting.
Yeah.
We're doing in steps. Our combat up until this point has basically been like, you hit him, he hits you. And then last time I was saying, okay, so I was kind of doing that in order to make sure you understood the rules. And now we're going to start getting a little more storytelling on it. Yeah. And then I started doing that, and they're like, well, how does he do so many things in one turn? It's been good, though. It's been good. Taking it slow.
Nice. One last thing, speaking of D&D, Dungeon Delvers started their new campaign. So last Tuesday, we had the season 2, episode 1 of Mile High Dungeon Delvers in Leander's new campaign. And Wes is halfling barbarian. Nearly got my Aarakocra monk killed because he could not smash a DC 10 door with his Warhammer while raging.
Wait, so you were trying to escape?
No, so we were investigating some like all the like orphan children who are part of these like gangs in this town had been going missing. So they like hired some adults to go look into it. And so the adults that got hired to go look into it. And we found this building where there was like a city guard like captain in front of, and he wouldn't let us in. And Bob's character's like this noble dragonborn in the town. So he like, got the guy to like get it the fuck out of there. Like, I'm a noble, get the fuck out. The guy left. And I flew around because I'm an Aarakocra and I was peeking in windows. And I could see there were two guys with crossbows like aiming at the door because they heard us out there. And so I was like, all right, guys, like we gotta time this right. So like you smash the door and I'll fly in through the back window and we'll scissor move ambush them. And so we did that. Only like Leander made it to where it was like we did, 3, 2, 1. You hit the door, I fly in. So I flew in. Oh. He hit the door and it did not break. And so I land in the middle of these two crossbowmen who were both like shooting at me. And yeah, so I took a little bit of damage, but I also beat the shit out of the two guys. And then like right as the second guy was about to die, everybody busted in the door and like flooded in the room. And I was like, thanks, guys. Well, let me do it all myself.
That would have been awkward if your character died on the second.
On the first like full episode after I got the custom artwork and the painted mini and all of that. Yeah.
Well, you've been like, oh man, weirdly his twin brother showed up. I need to avenge my brother that died.
Aethon's brother, Beathon, showed up.
But he's told me so much about you guys, so I feel like we can skip that weird like introductory phase.
Yeah. And when we were kids, I always wanted to be him. So if you just call him me by his name, yeah. My parents never liked him, so we'll just all pretend he didn't exist.
No, but it was a lot of fun. I'm curious to see where Leander's story is going with it. So we'll be back doing that one in like a week and a half. So yeah. Any more banter stuff for you?
No, but I'm hoping that we're gonna go see Bad Boys 3 next weekend.
Oh God, no.
I tried watching I watched the first half of the first one, and then I got distracted by wanting to do anything else. No, I'm gonna finish that one and the second one.
You don't like them?
That one. That's the first time I had ever seen it, and I'm like, oh, this is so 90s right now.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Last week was the first time you ever saw Bad Boys 1?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's actually like a reasonably good movie.
It's very 90s. That's fine, but I also was like, I don't know if I'm in a mood for 90s stuff right now.
But have you seen Bad Boys 2?
No, I haven't seen either one of them, which I said I'll watch them at some point before the movie.
This is real life.
This is like the scene from Hot Fuzz.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This is actually what's happening right now.
I mean, I've seen other Michael Bay movies. I just didn't see those two.
Have you seen Point Break?
Yes, I've seen that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
You said Hot Fuzz, and I was like, oh, wait. Okay.
You're talking about the remake, right? I saw that one.
Oh, no.
That was not that great. That was not that great. But I am excited for Bad Boys 3, which is going to be awful.
Yeah.
So. Oh, it's going to be so bad.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't even know what to. I just want to watch Bad Boys 2 right now.
I would maybe watch if you guys don't go to Big Show to where I can get it for the cheapest possible.
I'm not going to go to. We're going to go see it that Sunday.
Okay. Paul says he's waiting for Big Show.
Oh no, I'm going a week from today, Paul. That was the plan. Stick with the plan, Paul.
I won't be able to go a week from today because I can't go on Sundays.
So I do have a side note for this.
Yes,
because 6 Underground or whatever it's called, the Ryan Reynolds film.
Oh yeah,
I watched that recently, and the best way I can describe this was it felt like a YouTube video of like a 13-year-old where just like the clips and like angles change and cut like every 2 fucking seconds, and I was like, what is happening? Why are the cars exploding? Is this a Michael Bay film? And I looked, I was like, oh, it's a Michael Bay film. All right.
Oh, were you talking about 6 Underground?
Yeah, 6 Underground.
Yeah.
Did you see it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So
no.
I don't.
I've tried to because I've had to watch it like 3 times to try and have any clue what the fuck's happening.
So it's spoiling nothing. It doesn't matter. I watched this movie and like so many things exploded, and the first like 10, 15 minutes didn't make any sense. And then I started like realizing like it's every time they say something, the camera angle changes, and I started counting, and I never got past 4 seconds unless it was a big pan around Michael Bay style thing where like they slow everything down and the camera goes like 180 around the person. It was weird, but I'm excited for Bad Boys 3 anyway.
Yeah, no, and that's not by Michael Bay.
Well, that's possibly even better.
Yeah, no, it might.
Six Underground? I thought Michael Bay.
No,
oh.
Bad Boys for Life is not.
Oh no, it's not.
He has nothing to do with this one. But no, I've heard that Six Underground is basically Michael Bay without anyone telling him no. Like people, they gave him money, and he said, "Michael Bay, do your thing," and then just show it.
The same member of the crew like almost dies from getting beat to death by a guy twice his size like 4 different times in the movie, and just always at the last second has Ryan Reynolds show up to be like, "I'll save you."
Yeah, why did you even have the actor in the beginning of the movie just gonna
Kill him right away?
Well, I didn't say kill him.
Spoilers.
Well, somebody dies right away at the beginning. Kind of the whole premise of the movie is they find number 6 because there are always 5 of them, and when one of the 5 dies, they find number 6.
It was a bad movie. It was still better than Star Wars.
Yeah. No.
We also watched Ready or Not, and that movie was so bad that it was great.
The ending makes that movie.
I was so happy when I saw that ending.
The ending is great on that one. I enjoyed watching it, but then in the end, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, all right." I'm glad they went in this direction.
I liked the reoccurring, like, I feel like gag with the like the staff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, I wish it would have happened a little bit more. But
that's what I was saying. Like it was so frustrating, but if they would have done it 3 times as much, it would have been great.
Yeah.
You're like, why is this even needed? But if you did it more, I would understand why it was needed.
Yeah.
No, right on. Okay, well, let's move on. That's enough banter and random shenanigans. So let's get on to some news and Kickstarters. There's not a whole lot of it, so we'll blast through it real quick, and then we'll do some listener feedback, then we'll get out of here. So first up on news and Kickstarter, starting with news, Fort from Leader Games is announced. So it's coming soon from Leader Games. It's an update to their previous game, SPQF, which I had never heard of.
Didn't that Grant guy, that like Grant Rodiak or whatever, like did he make that game?
I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So in Fort, it's Leader Games who did Root. It's Kyle Farron who did the art for Root. So it looks very Root-esque, but it's not Root, I promise.
Yeah.
And so it's a deck building game where you're building your deck with friends, pizza, toys, things like that. And everybody's trying to build the fanciest fort. And so each turn you get to play cards for the action, and then you get to buy one from the market, which is pretty standard. But when you play the card, those actions can be boosted by playing matching cards, but not only from your hand. Like everybody can play matching cards. So the idea is that like, you know, you're trying to get all your friends together to like participate. Then any card that you don't use goes out like into being able for anybody else to buy it. But then if they aren't purchased, they're just gone.
Which thematically is like you have friends that are like, "Hey, Adrian," and you're like, "Nah," and then they're like, "Well, fuck you. I'm gonna go hang out with someone else then." And then if nobody wants to hang out with them, they're like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna go away forever now."
I'm sad in my sad fort of loneliness.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. Not a lot more information about it there, but Kyle Farron's been posting the art, and as I said when we were looking this over, he clearly has an art style, and he sticks to it.
Yeah.
So that's Fort. The Centus Populus Forest, which is that SPQF.
I mean, that was just the whole name for it.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about though.
I mean, it was I think it was something to do with like Rome and stuff like that. So
gotcha. Next up on news, a little bit of bummer news. Fantasy Flight Interactive and Fantasy Flight RPGs are gonzo. They're all done. So,
well, we don't know if some of them will be picked over by like Asmodee Digital and stuff like that. But yeah, so Fantasy Flight Interactive, they made the Lord of the Rings, the card game, that you can buy on like Steam. So and it was like a PC version of it. that they were working on. But I was surprised to hear that was the only thing they really worked on.
Yeah.
And I just didn't hear much about it, so I'm not too surprised that they were just like, we're just going to close this door.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more surprised about the Fantasy Flight role-playing department because, like, they had a decent amount of games. Like, they had a whole lot of, like...
well, they had the Genesis, the Star Wars one, Legend of the Five Rings.
Didn't they also do the like ones where you play yourselves that May ran the one where for like Boyd and them, like the zombie apocalypse one? I think that's a Fantasy Flight
Oh,
RPG.
I don't know.
I think that whole like they've got like 7 or 8 different scenarios that are all the same kind of vague RPG where you play yourself in it, and they're like alien invasion or zombie apocalypse or things like that. End of the world.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know. I thought Fantasy Flight RPG was, I would have assumed, sitting in a better position, but apparently not.
But having a good product doesn't mean it necessarily brings in dollars.
Also true.
Until you drop it, and then someone else brings it back, and then you're like, "Well, I want that money back," and then you switch back again.
Yeah.
Hashtag Games Workshop. Go fuck yourself.
So yeah, unfortunately, a bunch of people got laid off, and those 2 lines are, at least for now, shut down.
And it seems like a good amount of the RPG side was like a bunch of freelance people.
Contract work, which I think is pretty common in the RPG world.
That would make sense.
So, last up on news, just to keep things moving, we've got some digital news. First up, Fury of Dracula is getting some digital editions, both on Apple and Android. I was looking, I thought there was a date for it. Oh, no platforms have been announced, nor has a release window. So all we know is that Fury of Dracula is getting a digital version.
Which I'm curious to see how that would work.
I mean, I could see it actually working really well if it's like a, online co-op, like, well, semi-cooperative. Because whoever's the Dracula, like, wouldn't have to worry about giving away information because the other people just wouldn't see things.
Right. And I guess if you're playing it solo or whatever, you would just be everyone trying, and then, they just have sort of a...
Or you'd be Dracula hiding from an AI.
Could also work. That sounds really boring.
That one does not seem that interesting, but the like looking for an AI Dracula seems more in tune with what I would expect.
I know people like stealth games.
But it's hard to like time that over an app.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah. And then other digital news... the Wordsy game from Gilhova that Megan loves so much is getting an Android edition. No word about Apple, but they're calling it a Vowel. And it's going to be a digital version of Wordsy.
Do you play that anymore?
Occasionally, yeah. Especially like when we got to my grandparents and stuff. Like my family and her family all love word games, and they were like really casual. So like that's a casual word games work real well with them. That was the last time I played just one, was when I was out for Thanksgiving. So
now, every time I look at that, I'm like, there's so many. I haven't played it, but every time I'm like, I'd rather play a bunch of other different games besides this for word game, like Letter Jam or even Just One or any of those other ones. I don't know what it is about this one that makes me not interested at all in trying it.
It's the top hat.
I mean, maybe. So, yeah. Couple more games coming to digital. More information on Fury of Dracula, I'm sure, to come. That moves us over to some Kickstarters, where we will start things off with Pacific Rails.
So Pacific Rails is currently well-funded at its $20,000 of $15,000. It's got about 11 days left and about 372 backers, with its most popular pledge as $60 for the deluxe edition. There is a standard edition for $35.
Yeah. So Pacific Rails is a train game, in case you couldn't tell by the name, but it is a engine building, worker placement, route building train game, which I know sounds so different from all of the other train games.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah. Mainly the engine building and worker placement are a little bit different than a lot of rail games. But, basically, there's a whole big Pacific Coast map, and you're going to be building towns and tunnels and rails and things like that to connect everything, taking actions at the various buildings in the town, which are on like the top part of the board, that let you do different things as far as like what track you can lay and where you can lay it and what actions you take. And you're trying to earn a bunch of money. And
so that looks like the board's split into two halves basically.
Yes.
Right. That bottom half looks like
RUFF rough.
I want to say it looks like an overlay of like an 8-bit game.
That's exactly what it looks like. You're not wrong. And it's really weird to see it like juxtaposed on this picture with like the square tile of like the small town that like will get laid on one of those squares.
Yeah.
It's like, that's really good art. That's getting laid onto really
I know
bad
it's
art.
by the guy that did Brass Birmingham
Yes.
and Lancashire. Did he do both of them? I don't know.
I assume so.
Oh yeah. But maybe that gives people incentive to just cover that board as quickly as possible. And it's just like, oh, it's so ugly. Let's just cover it with shit.
Cover as much as possible.
I mean, I don't know much about train games, but I feel like art is really the key selling point of most train games.
Yeah,
It is.
as it should be.
It is. 18xx games are basically somebody did a thought experiment of like, what if there was a game with no mechanics and just art?
Yeah.
How would that go?
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen any of those because I've only seen the prototype versions because everything looks like a prototype.
I don't. No, I feel like they just did a Kickstarter for like that the first one that they're actually releasing.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Xbox
it
is
finally made
coming
it.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they finally made
Actually, I
it.
just got mine,
You did?
1824.
Yeah.
It's the first ever full release 18xx.
No, that's not the one. I'm thinking of the one, the double-sided one that had the 2 maps on it.
Oh, 61 and something else.
Yeah, that's the first real one. Yes.
Are they just doing a FIFA thing where they release one for every year and charge you again?
Yeah, probably.
Also true.
Yeah.
And NCAA and all those other ones until EA finally couldn't keep doing it forever. But yeah. So
Does this interest you at all, Adrian?
not particularly.
It's not even a train track. It's just one little track.
You just
Yeah, I haven't really heard much
okay.
about it, and like trains as a theme don't interest me. Like it just so happens that train themed games tend to have mechanics that I like, which this one, face value, like yeah,
that's the exact same. Sorry, we both looked at the deluxe components, and the first thing our eyes went to were 8 cowboy hats.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for them, but I just like looking at this, and it's just like there's 8 cowboy hats too. Great. It's just like just off the side somewhere, and it's like I want to wear a hat now.
yeah. Because you know you can't drive a train effectively without a cowboy hat.
Or a senator hat, either one.
Yeah. So,
You put it on the train?
I don't know. I can only assume it has something to do with the town. Maybe they represent like sheriffs you control or something. I don't know. But yeah, it did not really reach out and grab me. No. So I want to look more into it, and I wish they had better like rules explanation in the Kickstarter so that I could actually tell like how it was played more than just like place workers, collect resources, get ahead of the competition, lay tracks, complete links. Like, yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
But they've got graphics. What else? What more else do you need?
yes,
So fat.
Yeah, those workers are thick.
yeah. Also, like the list of games that Vesuvius has put out, like, is not. I don't know any of them. A lot of Dwar 7s.
I like here it says about the game. May 10th, 2019 marked the 150th anniversary of the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad. You know, May 10th last year at some point.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, I feel like this Kickstarter should have been,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe somewhere around May 10th, 2019.
yeah, then there would have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense that they're trying to mention it. But they're like, hey, it was just a while ago, guys. Don't you remember?
Or maybe it should have launched this time in
Uh-huh.
2019 so that maybe, or like 2018, so it may be delivered on May 9th. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels off. So it's like somebody was like, hey, train games are real hot right now. Let's make a train. I don't know. I'm not super impressed.
Well, since they finally started releasing them, they're like, oh, now we got to get a lot more in. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Pacific Rails Inc. If you want to go take a look at it, it might be okay. I don't know. It's funded, which doesn't necessarily mean anything, but yeah. That wraps up everything on Kickstarter, which moves us over to some listener feedback. Normally starting with emails at milehighgameguys.com. Or I guess actually, shit, Ant, you're filling in for Jeff. Do you want to drop in emails?
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.net.
Close enough.
Definitely .com. Don't email
That's
.net.
the last time you seen .net.
I know, right? But
None of those.
yeah, no emails, which is okay because Jeff's not even here for them. So
Yep.
you didn't let Jeff down. But there was some YouTube comments. So last week's episode, 2 weeks, M comments, first comment of the year, nailed it. Which, I mean, it was lazy, but I guess you nailed it? Sure. And then Paulo also commented a little bit later, Lieria Con is so much better than Japan. Never been to Japan, but Lieria rocks. 2021 is MHGM trip to Lieria Con. All of you guys, no excuses. So there you have it.
All right,
Zach,
great. He's sponsoring us. This
Zach,
is awesome.
you and Jeff got to go to Portugal
I'm
in
hearing that
2021.
he's going to pay for accommodations and travel is what I'm hearing.
I'm sure that tracks.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not a made-up statement at all.
Never.
You wouldn't do that.
No. God damn it. How would someone do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
That's it for listener feedback. Nothing over on the guild. Nothing like that. Jeff thinks you fucked it up, Ant. He's disappointed.
I don't care.
That sounds about right.
He's just trying to get in your head, Jeff.
Emails.
He's just getting in your head before the game.
Emails.
No, that's worse. I'm going to go ahead and call that worse.
That was real bad.
That's like Eeyore.
Emails. Right on. So if you want to get a hold of us, there are plenty of different ways to do so. You can send us emails
At emails.
Oh,
At
it's
my
painful.
guys.
Oh God, it's painful.
I got this. Hold on. Focus. At emails at milehighgameguys.com.
All right. You can also find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach _MHGG, and Jeff is Jeff _MHGG.
Yeah.
I got
Anthony,
nothing.
No.
I don't social media.
Okay. You can also find us over on Instagram at MHGameGuys, Facebook.com/MHGameGuys. We have our website, milehighgameguys.com, where you can find links to things like our Slack channel, which is constantly filling up with more and more people chatting about all kinds of inane nonsense, sports, movies, snow, dogs. No cats. Not a lot of cat conversation in our Slack, surprisingly. You need to post more pictures of your cat, Zach.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, it'll be a lot of her just like looking annoyed at me. So
I mean, that's every picture of every cat ever.
Exactly.
There's also links on the website to our Board Game Geek Guild, which is guild number 2731, where there's a calendar with streams that we're doing, as well as threads for our episodes and the games that we stream on Fridays. And last but not least, you can follow us over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/MHGameGuys. We stream over there at least twice a week. We do board game streams, live plays on Fridays, and we do podcast recording behind the scenes uncut on Sundays. And then Mile High Dungeon Delvers is every other Tuesday currently over there on Twitch. There's a chance we might move to Saturdays. Maybe. We'll see. I might die also. We'll see. But yeah, so follow us over on Twitch. You can catch all of our stuff there. And yeah, that's all the different ways to get in touch with us. As always, we would like to thank our sponsor on these Wednesday episodes, Gray Fox Games.
Quality games, cleverly crafted. Also, I'm a prisoner of death. Only you can free me.
I'm real glad that you did that, but that's supposed to be at the end.
Oh, I don't know.
It's fine. No, it's fine.
I just looked it up right there.
I know you did.
I let you have it because you were just so clearly very excited.
Yes.
But anyway, their new game, Tortuga 2021, is going to be launching on Kickstarter here in about a week and a half. And they've been releasing a whole steady stream of art. So if you're not following them on social media, you should, so you can see all of the cool artwork. The artwork for Tortuga is looking amazing.
Yeah.
And we will have a whole lot more information for that next week after that Kickstarter launches about what's going on and price points. And
does it launch on Tuesday as well?
It does.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So many fucking games. on Tuesday.
It's like the day to launch Kickstarter. Statistically,
I know,
when things...
I know, and it's just annoying.
It
because
is so annoying.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Ant, do you have a prepared statement for us?
I do. Great Fox Games, quality games, cleverly crafted. Also, Naomi.
Perfect.
Oh, right on. Well, that I think wraps everything up nicely. Thanks everybody for tuning in over on Twitch. Thanks everybody for listening to the podcast. We appreciate all of you. As always, I have been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I strongly support Blood Bowl.
Thanks for joining us, Ant.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.